So this, of course, isn't a comfortable or pleasant topic. You'd made a social media post talking about working with Michelle Latimer after the story broke last week. You worked with her when she was at Vice for a series called Rise. You'd said in your post, I thought it was cool that there's a series led by an Indigenous woman with Vice, but what made it to air, you wrote, disgusted you. You've said that you don't know how to move on from this experience. So can you explain, what's going on for you with this?
And I really didn't feel like I did right by them. Like, I was there, I got to see them, and I felt like I had no creative control over the episode, but I felt like it contributed to the negative stereotypes of Winnipeg. So
you didn't have control over this. I guess that goes back to sort of what everybody's talking about. What didn't make it to air, what ended up on the cutting room floor is, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but why do you think that the feeling that you got as an obviously Indigenous man, why wasn't that what would have went to air? Is it because of who's telling the story?
It's non-Native people telling our stories. It's often poverty porn fodder, and you can look at something like Pine Ridge, and it's like every few years, every 5 or 10 years, there's a new poverty porn piece that comes out of Pine Ridge from some non-Indigenous person who wins awards and then never goes back. Me and my buddy Mark Tilson, who's Lakota, we often talk about this. If poverty porn could save Indigenous peoples, it would have already happened decades ago.
Yeah.
But they like retelling that same story. And I believe it's because they don't know any other story about us. They don't really know who we are.
This is far from the first person to be questioned about claims to an Indigenous identity, or calling upon an ancestor back to the 1700s or the 1600s as their claim to being Indigenous today. This isn't new. But why is there still so much pain and disappointment and sadness and anger when it's revealed that that's what's going on?
I've just noticed in the last few years that it's easier for a non-Native person to claim Indigenous ancestry and be accepted than it is for our Black Indigenous brothers and sisters and family to be recognized as Black Indigenous or Indigenous and accepted than it is for these non-Native, these white people to come in. And we allow them in our spaces. And I don't know if we're holding them accountable enough. I don't know if we are challenging them enough. I don't know if they know that there's going to be a severe consequence. And some people are just fine coming in and telling the story and never coming back to the community, never helping out, extrapolating whatever information, whatever they want from us, and then never coming back. And I really believe the only way that this will change is if there's more, if we start hitting them in their purses and their pockets, the places that have awarded them, recognition, grants, if they start asking for all that stuff back, if we took back the awards, if we took back the money, I think that then they'll know, and then they'll start to understand that there's a heavy price to pay. But right now we're not seeing it. Right now it's just, you get some shaming from us Indigenous folks. You get some Indigenous apologists who are like, let's just make space for them. They might not have known any better, or they might be a little crazy. And we should just let them be. But the reality is that they're robbing us, Indigenous peoples, of our opportunities to really succeed. To really break those barriers. And there's more than enough talented people out there who can write better, who can direct better, who can produce better than her, than Michelle. And they're denied these things over and over again. And who's taking their spots? People like Michelle, people like Joseph Boyden. They're just robbing us of our potential.
Lots to chew on, and I guess all we can do at this point is see if there's going to be change that goes in that direction. Thank you for taking the time to lay those points out for us.
Thank you.